Hi, I'm Janelle K. Collard, and joining me today is Sharon K. Richards, who is one of the team that brings us the voices of the spiritual masters on the We Seek to Serve and thoughtsfromamaster.com websites. Sharon is one of the voices who the unknown master speaks through. And today, the master would like to speak to us through Sharon and explain a little bit more about himself. So Sharon, welcome.
Thank you. I'm pleased to be here.
Thank you for allowing the master to come through for us.
Oh, well, I do that a lot.
You do. Tell me, how long has it been since the master has been speaking through you?
I was first contacted sometime in the fourth quarter of 2012. He came through as a new voice, and I can't pin it down, and I'm not going back through my logs to find the exact date.
I won't hold you to the exact date. So this is relatively new.
Yes.
Now, is this much different than the other masters who speak through you?
Yes, the contact was quite different. Normally when a new voice will come through, it's pretty much like the other voices, and we just kind of get to know each other, and it's, you know, the same intensity. Mm-hmm. But when the unnamed master came through, the intensity was just huge. And it took me, as a matter of fact, he had to do the adjusting on his side because I couldn't handle him at first at full intensity. You know, so yes, it was quite different. There's a lot of power.
Because so many speak through you, so that's interesting that it would be like that. Well, you told me that the master, the first thing that he revealed to you was that he is a triad.
Yes.
And so this is news to me. So can you explain what a triad, or who is in this triad?
Well, what I found out is probably the reason it was so intense is because the three members of this triad are Master Kutumi, Master Moria, and Mother Mary.
Really?
And that's a lot of power.
That's a lot of energy, I'd say.
So yes, it's a powerful triad when they work together.
Wonderful, and I like the female energy in with the male energy. Well, I know that the master would like to speak to us today, and yes. So if you're ready, we would love to hear from him.
All right, we will give it a go.
Well, thank you so much for being here. It's really an honor and a pleasure to be in your presence.
All right. All right, and how is the energy for you?
It's pretty strong.
All right.
It's big. I have to be honest with you there. It's very intense energy.
Right. Very good.
Can you explain to me, to us, what a triad is exactly?
All right. That is one of the things I wanted to accomplish today, so thank you. A triad. We were looking for a metaphor, and we decided, I mean the community of spiritual masters, and those of us in the triad settled on color. So if you can imagine an artist's palette, and you have blue here, and you have red there, and you have white here. And if you mix the blue and red, the blue and the red actually disappear into purple.
Right.
And it becomes purple. And if you add white, the purple disappears into something that you would call violet. That violet is not red, it is not white, it is not blue. It is its own color and its own essence. And that is what a fully blended triad is. That is what I am. I am not Kutumi, I am not Moria, I am not Mary, I am me, the unnamed master. At that level of blending. Now what we have the ability to do, that colors on the palette cannot do, is disband. And we can disband to various degrees. And before this session is over today, I would like to give you an example of a disbanding. And the reason it was so intense that you are feeling now, and that Sharon felt when we first spoke through her, is that we approached initially as the fully blended master. And that was intense. So we backed off a little bit. Downsized, we backed off, and then built back up again until she could handle the full energy. This is not necessarily as easy as handling any one of us individually. Does that explain what the triad is? Very well.
It absorbs the one frequency, it comes together as one stream.
Yes.
And I have to say, it feels very big. It feels, I'm thinking of it like a huge tree, a trunk. a very big stream.
Well, I'll have to rework the image. A tree.
Okay.
All right, I'm a tree.
Okay.
All right.
Well, how long have these triads been happening? Is this new, or has this always been?
The triads have been in existence since the community of spiritual masters has been in existence by whatever name was known at the time. The elder brothers and sisters of humanity. As long as the elder brothers and sisters of humanity have existed, they have worked in triads, because that leverages the strength and the wisdom and the experience of the people involved. And I would like, I'm taking over here.
Please, the floor is yours.
I would like to explain why we do this. And that is, I think that anyone watching this video, I hope, is aware that there is a plan for this planet. Mother Earth has a plan. And humanity is part of that plan, and the kingdoms of Mother Earth are part of that plan. The mineral, the plant, the animal, all the kingdoms of Earth, those that are on the physical plane and those that are in other dimensions, all are part of the plan. Well, when that plan calls for a project, and that project may be small, or it may be many decades in length, but when there is a project that calls for guidance and advice from the community of spiritual masters, and a single master or 5 masters working independently is not quite the right energy to really guide this project, then we will form triads. And we will first we would determine what energy is needed, and then which members of the community are capable of coming together to provide that kind of energy. And that is why we form the triads and how we determine who is going to be in there. It depends upon the project and the ability of this energy package that is needed to relate to the human beings who are actually executing that project. All right, is this making sense?
It absolutely makes sense.
All right.
Who decides how these triads are formed? Is there a committee that gets formed? Who organizes all this?
We work in a group consciousness, and we do have meetings. Mm-hmm. So it is at these meetings, when we all know what the plan is, where we can discuss as a group what is needed. So I suppose you could call it a committee, although we don't actually think of ourselves as a committee, but that's an okay analogy.
Earth Talk, I guess.
Earth Talk. I love it.
How long, now we have 3 in this triad, are you working in other, do the members of this triad work in other triads as well?
Yes, because you see, the triad is not permanent. We come together for a specific purpose. And anyone who is familiar with the work of the community knows that Master Kutumi on his own is off doing this, and Master Moria on his own is off doing that, and Mary on her own is off doing the other thing. We come together as needed for the project that we are working on. And we come together and we take care of the advice and guidance in that project, and then we go about our business and come back together. When we are going about our business, Master Moria can be in yet another triad that's working on another project.
Very busy, I would assume, you all.
Yes, well, we think we're busy.
Do you, can you give us an example of a triad, something that you'd be working on, a project?
Well, what we're working on now, this particular triad, we are working now with 7 different groups, all of whom are working on getting the message of our very existence out into humanity, and working with us to enable our expanded presence within humanity, sometimes called the emergence. And there are 7 different groups that we are working with on that project. Some are very small, some are very large, and some are in the middle. But that is what we are working on. So the plan calls for our expanded presence within humanity. All right. The plan calls for raising humanity's consciousness about our very existence as elder brothers and sisters, and the continuity that tells humanity they are evolving and incarnating now, but eventually they will reach the point where they are no longer incarnating. And when they reach that point, then they will become members of the community of spiritual masters. And yes, there are transitional members, and I'm not going into those details. But essentially, they are going to become the elder brothers and sisters and look back and help their younger brothers and sisters. And those who are the elder brothers and sisters now are going to move on with their own spiritual development. Now, I don't know if I answered your question, but I was glad I got to say that.
I like that what you said. And are these triads also working on other planets as well? Or is this strictly for humanity here on Earth?
In essence, yes. If you look at a triad as blending the experience, the wisdom of multiple beings and turning it to assist in the plan, then yes.
Incredible. Do you, I just lost my train of thought. There's so much energy here, I have to tell you. It's big. Can you give us an example? I don't know if you can or not, or you would like to do this, but of disbanding a little bit with the three and then coming back together. Are you able to do that, to show us?
Of course I am able.
Would you do that for us?
Yes.
Would you be available to do that?
That is one of the things I wanted to demonstrate. Now, the difficulty in this is Sharon will be able to tell when that happens. The question is, will you be able to tell? And will those viewing this video be able to tell? I have a feeling that those who are sensitive to energy will be able to feel the difference.
Okay.
But we will see. And you must be honest.
I will.
This is an experiment. All right. So what we will do as our violet is we will disband and become first a blue-toned violet. And that means that I now am Kutumi. And Moria and Mary are blending their energies around me as Kutumi. So if you were looking at a color palette, that would be a blue-toned, still violet, but a heavy blue-toned violet. Now, can you feel the energy difference?
I do. I'm feeling a lot of like kundalini at my spine, the top of my shoulders. I'm feeling a lot of chest and...
All right, and this is different from the tree.
Yes.
All right. Now, we call this having a primary, where I, Kutumi, am the primary. We will shift. All right, and this is Moria. And now our violet is a red-toned violet. I am now primary, and Kutumi and Mary are working and blending with my energies. This is the level at which we are most successful with initial communication with someone who is going to give us voice. Because at this level, it is more intense than any one of us individually, but less intense than the complete blending.
Yes.
All right. Now, can you tell the difference? And do you feel any difference between the Kutumi and the Moria?
I can tell. And maybe because I know that it's happening, so I can tell, but it does feel like a different energy, yes.
All right. Now, we will do the third, and we yield to our distaff member. All right. This is Mary, and I get my turn now.
Welcome, Mary.
Thank you. Yes, it is a feeling of great power that maybe women will understand, to have the balance, and now they are blending with my energies, and I will make light of it, because we all have divine feminine and divine masculine aspects. But I like to think of it for the sake of the Divine Feminine, which has been, I would say, downtrodden for a number of centuries, that it is a pleasure that there's one of me, primarily Divine Feminine, completely balancing two who are Divine Masculine.
With the boys in the back.
We must be careful.
Yes, I would not like to upset the two in the back, but it's a beautiful energy, I have to say.
Right. And you do tell the difference.
It's very soft and heart chakra warm.
One of the things that those who are accustomed to channeling me individually say, that when I am in the triad formation, there is an intensity about me that they do not feel at other times. And that, because of the triad formation, explains why.
That makes sense.
All right. We would reblend now. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. I am back.
Definitely a different energy.
All right.
Bigger.
I know. I'm a tree.
You're a tree.
They're
You're
twigs. All right. All right. Do you have other questions?
Well,
consult your list.
Okay.
We want to get these questions down. There is much we wish to cover. And we will tell people we cheated. We talked about some of the things ahead of time.
I think that you have pretty much covered it. I do have one last question, unless you have anything else you'd like to say.
Well, we are hoping that this will be the first in a series of informational videos. This is not necessarily a message, as some of the other videos have been and will be, but it is information that we would like people to have. And we are hoping that we can do more We Seek to Serve informational videos. I would like to say that.
I think we can make that happen.
All right. Thank you.
So I do have one last question, and if I may be so bold, and you can choose to answer this or not, but what's coming through to me is I'd like to know if the unnamed master and the master are one and the same.
I am, we are, those are two names that are used by those we work with. There are others. By one group, I am called Joe.
Okay.
But I am known as the master, as well as the unnamed master.
Okay, so you heard it here today, and I thank you so much for being here. It's been wonderful. We will have you back, and I'll look forward to hearing more from the master.
Thank you. It has been my pleasure.
So that was really intense for me. How was it for you?
Yes, that was intense. That level of energy is more challenging to maintain an open voice than some of the other energies I work with.
How does it feel when they disband and come together? Is that confusing? I mean, you're going in a lot of directions there. This is four energies going on.
No, actually, when they start to disband, I feel a lessening of the intensity, which is, quite frankly, a relief. And since I channel each of them individually, they're like old friends. So, you know, it's comfortable.
Absolutely incredible. Well, the master and the unnamed master we hear are one, which is very interesting to hear. And he mentioned that he would very much like to do a series of these, and so I hope that we can continue on with that.
Oh my, all right. Yes.
So what I would say to you then, these videos are available on YouTube. They'll also be posted on the WeSeekToServe.com and ThoughtsFromAMaster.com websites. And so if you like these videos, then be sure to follow us, and we'll have a lot more of these informational videos coming up this series. So thank you so much for joining us, Sharon. Thank you so much again. And stay tuned, because we'll be back with more videos in the near future.